All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Renatus J.A.M. My name is Jay Stark, and joining me, as always, is my fearless co-host.
I got kind of pigeonholed into saying Mr. Matt Snyder, but sometimes I'm just Matt.
Why can't you be Mr. Matt?
I'm Mr. Matt.
Mr. Matt.
Or Mr. Snyder, or Mr. Matt Snyder, or just Matt.
You know, who pigeonholed you into saying Mr. Matt Snyder?
I did. So
you pigeonholed yourself.
I did.
So, because you said it in like a, well, I got pigeonholed.
I did, by myself. It happens.
Do you often find yourself pigeonholing yourself?
Yeah. Deep thought right there, right? How often do we all do that?
Oh, my gosh. Yes. How often do we put ourselves into a box?
Because of the story you tell yourself.
Oh, man. We could
end the podcast right there.
We could spend the entire podcast on that alone.
We could.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Great. Now I'm thinking about it. How many times do you self-sabotage? How many times? Oh, you know what my favorite... Okay, here we go.
What?
Last week? I don't know. Sometime recently, Whitney and I celebrated our 19th wedding anniversary.
Yeah.
And I know there's some people out there that lost money. You're welcome. Because she stayed with me.
Yeah.
It's a joke. Thanks for not laughing.
Some of them haters...
Thank you.
Some of those haters were holding their breath.
Right.
You suffocated them.
Suckers. So we've been married for 19 years, and I can't tell you the number of times that I know how she's going to respond to something before I even give her a chance to respond to it.
So how often would you say you're right with that?
Maybe 1 in 10 times.
Yeah.
Even though we've been married for 19 years.
19 years.
I know her pretty good by now.
Yeah, I would say so.
And even after 19 years, I cannot accurately guess how she's going to respond in most situations.
And I think we all do that with everybody in your life. You think, oh, this is what they're thinking, this is what they're going to think, this is what's going on. And then you find out later, I've had that happen a bunch of times where I was like I find out later that there was something else maybe going on in their life, something detrimental. They're going through a divorce or something, and they hadn't made it public yet, or something. And it's like, oh, now I get why he stopped calling, or something happened, right? Like, who knows? But yeah,
I tell you what, if you ever want to watch like a test case in psychology, the other day I watched my kids pulled up Deal or No Deal. I think what the name of the show was.
Yeah.
Deal or No Deal. And if you want to watch people struggle with not having a stats background, a statistics background, and trying to rationalize whether or not they should accept the money from the banker. Oh my gosh. I watched this one where this lady said, I watch this show religiously. I hate when people do this, where they've got a killer deal on the table and they don't take it for that hope of just one more lucky spin.
Yeah.
And her husband is sitting there in the audience, and he goes, "Yeah, if she gets an offer over $150,000, we've agreed she's going to take it." Right? She's got an offer for $299,000. No. She didn't take it.
No.
She walked out of there with $25,000.
Okay, so this is such a human thing to do, though.
Right.
And so I found myself, I've done this. I have done this. I'm not going to get into the specifics, but I personally, this is, I've judged somebody for something, and then later in life found myself doing that thing and going, what am I doing? Like, how did, you know what I mean? It's just such a human thing to happen, right?
Speeding is the worst.
That's a great example, right? Like traffic in general would be a great example. Oh, this guy, he's being such a punk or something.
Right.
And then I've been that guy, a few days later even, and gone, oh crap, I'm that guy. Like,
right.
And
we're all that guy occasionally.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. So, but it's just funny how many times we do it to ourselves, where we define ourselves based on hypotheticals that we've played out in our head without ever actually going through that situation at all.
Totally.
And then we create this figmented future where we've already succeeded or failed without even giving ourselves a chance.
I think it's just different when you're the one that's in it.
oh, yeah.
you know, in that situation or whatever, and then you find out that we're all similar to each other, and we all oftentimes react in a human way, and your own mortality is kind of presented to you. So
we could talk about that for a while
that's a
too.
whole thing.
I just think the reason why the best athletes in the world train on the same plays over and over and over.
Yeah.
Why they train the same movement, the same small step over and over and over is so that when it comes time to actually take the step, they don't have to think about it.
Yeah.
They just do it.
You're conditioned to do it because that's the same thing they do with astronauts. So for going to the moon or going to the space station, they will literally make you practice out in your suit, all that stuff. They'll act out every single step of the way. They'll do it multiple times. They'll put you under stress. They'll condition you to it, because even though you're like, oh, well, I know that we're going to go up there and I got to do this spacewalk and I got to go out there and fix this thing, and you can imagine it even, but then when you get in that situation, you might freak out. Right, and like it's because scuba diving was that for me, and so you know I can really relate to that, because it's like, oh, I know that this is going to be weird. I'm going to stick my face in the water, and that it's going to be weird to breathe underwater for a minute. But like I had imagined it out, and then I actually did it, and I panicked, and I was like, what is like I can't get past this panic breathing and panic situation, and then it had to be literally conditioned out of me.
Yeah.
Isn't that weird, though?
You know, just to give you some props here, our very first dive that we did together, we were underwater. We went through an entire tank in 27 minutes.
Yeah.
And within, was it 4 days that we were diving? 5 days? 4 or 5 days?
4 or 5.
Our last dive was over an hour long.
Yeah, it was.
And so you, to your credit,
at a greater depth.
At a much greater depth.
Yeah, which means you burn air faster.
Yeah.
So that means I probably was breathing about 4 times slower. That should, but
that just goes to show why we need to have that muscle memory.
Yeah.
So that when we get to that point, instead of having to think about it, we can create a rhythm that our body can get into, and we can create a habit where we can actually control ourselves better and better and better. And that's, you know what? That's what the 10-day challenge is all about.
It sure is.
It's about creating that muscle memory so that when you get to that point with a new prospect, you don't have to think about, what do I say next?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Instead, you go, oh, I already know what to say.
Yep.
I've done this 1,000 times.
I've watched this happen. I've experienced this myself. But it's phenomenal when that starts to take place and that happens, and then I know what the next move is, or the next place to take them, or whatever, and close this versus the panicking, really. Because I experienced that in the beginning too. I panicked. I was like, oh crap, what do I finally got one. Like, what do I do?
They actually said, yes, what do I do now?
Crap,
I don't know what to do.
I haven't got this far before. Yeah.
It's the our top income producers are not as committed to goals as they are committed to their vision and to a role, right?
Yeah.
So they've got a vision. This is how I'm going to treat people, and the people around me all play a role in that. But this is how we're going to keep this thing going. I am not going to hit some arbitrary goal and have completed my task. Instead, I'm going to keep moving forward powerfully with my process.
Yeah. Yep. Well, when that goal, that vision is there, everything else, every other decision, every other thing that comes in before you, you're going to make decisions and see things based on that goal, right? Like that vision, I should say. That vision is going to drive all of your decision making and to get you to where you want to be. Right. And so goals are good, but I think that you got to have that vision.
What I'm really trying to say is we started this whole conversation with you being pigeonholed.
Mm-hmm.
What's your vision, Matthew?
My vision? Well, I want this to blow up inside of Renatus.
Yeah, buddy.
I want everybody in Renatus to be watching this right here. Get some good information.
Well, I met
Mr. J. Stark
and Mr. Matt Snyder.
To be happy. That's my vision, man.
Oh yeah.
And a lot of my obviously there's a lot of breaking it down beyond that goes into that, but that's really what, and obviously being financially secure and stable, financially independent, whatever the term you want to call it is, but being able to be in a position where I don't have to worry about money is a part of that equation.
Right.
I realize it only solves money problems, right? Money only solves money problems, but money problems really suck when you've got them. So
money problems are typically they're a symptom of something else. And whatever that underlying problem is, that's what needs to be fixed first, which often starts with your mindset.
Well, yeah, definitely. Especially because if you don't fix that mindset and you make a lot of money, you'll blow a lot of money.
Oh, yeah. You just go broke at a higher level.
I've seen it with my own eyes. So
the funny part is I was asking you how you wanted to be addressed on this podcast, and you're giving me this is my vision. Let me tell
guys. Look what I did here.
King of left turns. This is perfect.
That's how I want to be addressed. The King of left turns.
King of left turns.
What is that? What's the acronym for that? KOLT?
Colt.
Colt.
Oh, we'll call you the Colt. Oh my gosh. Okay, for all the tens of people with us online right now, from now on, if you address Matt as the Colt, he owes you $1.
Oh gosh.
We're going to come up with a new acronym. Instead of the GOAT, it's going to be the Colt.
That's right. The King of Left Turns. That's KOLT.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah, buddy.
The Colt.
I
Colt.
love it.
That's so funny.
I like it.
All right, so
it's accurate.
We've already talked quite a bit about mindset, and we've talked about vision, we've talked about muscle memory, and we've talked a little bit about the 10-day challenge. The next 10 days starts when?
You told me this. It was June.
Oh, I got it written down right here. June 7th.
June 7th. Thank you.
I'm glad I wrote it down.
I'm glad you wrote it down too. Isn't there something else that? Oh no, that's the 9th. I don't want to get ahead of ourselves.
Yeah, let's not jump any guns.
Look at what
here.
I'm doing.
You
left
Colt?
turn. Yeah. June 7th, we've got the start of the 10-day challenge.
Yes,
it's going to be wonderful.
It is going to be wonderful. Now, there's a couple of things that people need to keep in mind. The 10-day challenge actually takes time.
Well, conditioning yourself takes time and effort.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what you're doing. You're conditioning yourself to sell. You're doing money-making activities.
Right.
You should do it over and over and over again.
Yes.
As basic and as simple as that is, I know it's not like necessarily easy for people to do. Well, it takes effort.
So let me ask this question.
Yeah.
In your opinion, why is it that people give up on their own future so quickly? Why is it that they say, "Oh, my future is not worth my committing this time to the 10-day challenge or to building my business"?
It's a lack of vision. This is what comes back to what we were talking about, right? If you don't have that vision, it's really easy to make the decision in the moment to just give up or to not push for that, right?
Yep.
But if you've got that vision, you're not going to let it go.
Right.
And so you're gonna push through the difficulty to get there.
So what was it that your dad said at lunch today? Because you're exactly right. That was a great answer.
Yeah.
Your dad said something to the effect of, when the pain of the problem is not bigger than the pain of the solution.
That was what I was saying. It actually comes from AA.
Yeah.
Right. But when the pain to change is smaller than the pain to stay the same, that's when you'll actually make those changes, right? Those changes are very difficult, but you don't see drug addicts, alcoholics clean up when things are good and there's money in the bank account, right? You see it happen when
they're on the bottom.
When they're in the bottom, rock bottom, I'm sure, as you've heard, right? Like the pain to keep doing what you're doing is so painful, it's easier to change. And that, I think, comes to human nature. So
the pain to change is less than the pain to stay the same.
Yeah.
That is the motivator to actually make a change.
Yeah.
To do it differently.
Yep.
So
my dad was talking about a diet.
Right,
and the difficulty around
yes.
that. Like, it's hard to diet.
And it was interesting because we had we've been talking about the 10-day challenge. We've been talking about all these things to create success in our own businesses forever, since the very beginning of the J.A.M. Right? And some people have actually done it. Some people get out of their own way and will actually commit themselves to...
They have the vision, man.
Yeah,
they have it.
To that vision.
They get it. Like it clicks for them.
Right.
And I think there's a lot of other people it doesn't click for. For instance, when you present them with all of this education and you see the value that education is, that price tag is nothing.
Right.
But for some people that they don't have the vision, they don't understand what the education can do for them. That price tag is like, well, I'd just rather go get a car or something, right? In their mind,
a boat.
I actually had a guy do that one time.
Yeah, I remember that. That's why I said that.
Yeah, dang boats.
Dang boats.
So yeah, he got his funding and then just bought a boat instead.
And now there's no water. So
'cause he's like, I always wanted a boat. And yeah, now he's just a guy with a boat. So, meanwhile, I know another individual who got started. I sold him some education years ago. He never lost the vision, and now he's got multiple rental properties. He's flipped some houses. He's got quite a real estate portfolio.
Right.
And that's what he does. He doesn't work a job anymore. He doesn't do any of that. He does his real estate. That's his business.
That's so interesting because I can point to so many examples of people that have held on, that commit to that vision, and so many examples of people who haven't.
Yeah.
I mean, people that are so dissatisfied with their life but are unwilling to do anything about it.
They're not dissatisfied enough.
Oh, man, that is a hard truth.
There's something to be said for the comfort in what even if it's uncomfortable. And so, I think it's just one of those things where it's like people get afraid of success because it's different.
Yeah.
It's something scary. Oh, people will expect things of me, or I'll expect things of myself, or it's just I don't know what that is. But I know what sitting in this is, even if it's broke, even if it's being broke, but I know what that is, and I know how to at least get by or something, right? And so it's stressful, but I get by. Like, people will oftentimes sit there for way too long.
Yes.
So,
and the whole trick, the whole purpose is that we need to learn to force ourselves into that state of change.
Yeah.
It can be done.
I stayed in, I worked for a company where the environment was truly just toxic. That would be a good word for it. And I stayed 2 years longer than I really should have. And when I finally left, and I stayed because I was like, well, I got benefits, I'm getting this. I was much younger then, right? And Renatus was just I think a twinkling in my dad's eye at that point. So, but you know what I mean? Like, anyways, I moved, I finally left, and I went somewhere else. Mm-hmm. And I went, oh my gosh, I mean, why did I stay for the last 2 years? What was I doing?
How many times have you felt that very thing where you go, why did I wait so long?
Yeah. I hated going to work every day. Like, I was miserable because of the environment. It was toxic. So, yeah, make those changes now.
So, to all the ICMs on the line, to all the customers, to all the business owners, to all the people that maybe are getting to know Renatus the very first time today, we as a company are committed to empowering every single person to go out there and start creating success at a higher level. We are not going to do it for anybody. This is not a get rich quick scheme. Give us money and we'll give you all your money back. This is a get educated and go work scheme.
Yeah.
I shouldn't even call it scheme. Sounds a little schemy.
Yeah, it does. Yeah,
it's a little sketchy.
The way I see it, it's no different than going to school for anything else and then doing that thing.
Right.
And so you're getting educated to run a business, to be a real estate investor, to understand taxes, entity setup, people, all of those things. And so those are all very important, and you can make it what you want to be. And I know, as you know, a lot of the same people I know, right? Yeah. People that are making multi-millions of dollars running their real estate business, running their marketing businesses, and they're killing it. And I know people that haven't made it anything. They haven't done anything with it. And the difference, I think, is just it's that understanding and that vision.
Yeah.
So
yeah. I love that. That was a great conversation, man, and I appreciate that. And I hope you guys are listening online, and that you go out there and you just kill it. That's really what we want.
Start with the 10-day.
Yeah, start with the 10-day challenge.
That's a really good place to start.
Starts on June 7th. Get involved. Become a part of the Facebook group. Renatus 10-day challenge. Mm-hmm. And then pay attention to the homework and then get it done. Realize it's a commitment, but it's a commitment to yourself.
Yeah.
It's not like we grade you. We look at, did you do it? Great, check, and then we move on. It's really to empower you with the tools, the muscle memory, that training, so that when you come up on those situations, you'll know what to say and how, and you'll know how to invite people, and it'll become second nature.
Yep.
In fact, we're going to invite Bob Tierney very shortly to come out on the Founders Live to talk a little bit about 3-foot contacting, about how you can warm up a cold market immediately just by being in their same area.
Yeah.
It's going to be awesome.
He's good at that.
Oh, man. He's the king of it.
He's good at just talking to people.
Yes.
And just, anyways. Yeah.
Love it. Yeah. All right. So one thing coming up before the 10-day challenge, though, is Memorial Day.
Yeah.
We're taking Memorial Day off.
We are?
We are.
When is that?
Next Monday.
All right. I won't be here.
Well, that's good because we're taking it off.
Okay.
So next Monday, the Renatus offices will be closed. Just a friendly reminder. But, even before that, that's funny. We're going down the list backwards here because before Memorial Day, today is actually the last day to qualify for the Everest Real Estate Conference.
That's right. Yeah.
I hope that everybody on the line, I hope you guys all not only know that, but that your prospects know that. All of your customers know that. All your other ICMs know that. And if they don't, you need to make sure you let them know. So every single person who is invited to the Everest Real Estate Conference will be getting a phone call from a customer advocate here with the home team. They're going to call you and confirm whether or not you're coming. They're going to find out any other additional information they need to know, if there's anything special with dietary needs or whatever. But if you have not received that call yet, that's because you are either not yet qualified or we somehow in our reporting did not get the notification. So if you haven't received a message from us yet, reach out, let us know, and we'll be happy to help you.
Yep.
Today's the last day, though.
It's the last day, but it sounds like a lot of people got the message because I hear that there was a bunch of orders going.
Yes, there are a bunch of orders that have gone in. A bunch of people that are going to be joining us at the Everest Real Estate Conference.
Yep.
And it's going to be good. It's going to be really, really good. 8 instructors, 3 days.
The most beautiful place on the earth, if you ask me.
Oh, man, the Caribbean of the West.
Yep.
Much cooler than the Caribbean of the East, though.
A little bit cooler. Yeah, be prepared. I mean, not that much, though. It's summer, too, and so it does dip to
but it's going to be
something.
50, 60 in the morning.
Yeah, it's a little...
Get up to the mid-70s.
As my grandma would say, chilly. It gets chilly.
A little chilly.
Little chilly.
Everybody says it gets a little chilly. Why did you have to specify that that's what your grandma said?
Because that's what she used to say. I don't know.
Is she not with us anymore?
No, she is. You're a dork.
All right. Moving on. I knew this was going to be a great podcast. I told the story earlier today in a meeting, and I started laughing so hard that I couldn't even finish sentences.
It was awesome.
That was good.
That was so awesome.
That felt great. I haven't laughed that hard in a while.
I wish I had that on film.
That was funny.
Jay was laughing so hard he couldn't talk. It was pretty funny.
Yeah.
I love that.
The Everest Real Estate Conference actually takes place June 9th through the 11th. That's coming up in 3 weeks.
It's fast. Yeah.
3 weeks from tomorrow.
Super fast.
Dude, it's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
It's going to be a lot of fun.
Well, you'll be there. I won't.
I will be there. And for everybody who's joining us, make sure that you are taking care of your accommodations. You are not sleeping at Bob Snyder's house.
Yeah.
Just in case there's any misunderstanding there.
Seems like there has been, I think, in the past with a few people. So
there has been. Luckily,
it's not that we don't love you and want you there. It's just that we can't house everybody. So,
yes.
Yeah, there's not enough room.
Yes.
He needs to build an even bigger cabin.
Oh, you should tell him that.
I have.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. He's got 40 acres up there. I mean, he's got the room.
He's got some spread. He could build on. Yeah,
totally do it
for sure.
All right, Memorial Day, the 10-day challenge, the Everest Real Estate Conference. The last day of qualifying for it is today. The last thing that I wanted to talk about, and I guess we probably should have started by saying that today we're going to open up the phone lines so that if you guys want to come out and ask any questions of us, we're happy to answer those questions.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're online with us right now and you want to ask a question, just ask a question. If not, it's going to be a very short podcast.
Probably.
It could be.
Yeah. Ask us questions. Are the peeps on the thing?
We got some people, but we don't have any comments yet.
Okay. All right. Well, give them a minute.
Interesting.
They didn't know till now.
Maybe.
So, and there's a little bit of a delay probably.
There is a little bit of a delay.
So
That's true.
They might not know till like right now.
Or right now.
It could be right now.
It's probably already passed. Yeah,
it probably has. We've killed enough time.
Oh man. But yeah, I was going to say something. Oh, one thing that I've always noticed when we open up for Q&A, what always happens is it takes a minute for the first question to come through.
Yeah.
It takes another minute for the second question. By the time we get to the third or fourth question,
then
they're starting
a
to
whole
roll
bunch of
in.
Yeah.
And we never have time to finish all of them.
Yeah,
so.
that's the way this works.
Yeah.
Usually, at least.
Usually. All right. So the last thing that we want to talk about before we actually start answering the questions is the Leaders Retreat.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. With the extended the days.
Yes.
That's a bugger. Yeah. You just can't do it on the website if you've noticed. So.
Sorry.
What?
You should. You know what that word means?
Bugger?
Yeah.
I don't actually.
Then stay innocent, Matt. Don't look it up.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm spreading obscenities out here. I didn't know.
All right. So the website that got set up.
We better tell my dad because he says that all the time.
Does he?
Yeah.
Oh.
He has. I've heard him say it.
We better put a pause on that one.
All right.
So here's the deal.
Man, like.
Yeah, right. Dumb words. People make them dumber.
And the internet. The internet ruins all this stuff because now people can look it up and know what it is. Versus everybody just stayed ignorant and they walked around saying things. So, although I did learn "kick this pig" is not actually like,
that's not animal.
It's not animal abuse. It's talking about Harleys.
No.
Yeah.
Oh man. All right. So here I'm going to get back to this,
the Costa Rica.
So the Leaders Retreat with the hotel. We always have the hotel set up like a portal for us, so that our people can go in there and register without it being too much of a problem. This year, while we still had that set up, it only allowed us to select the default days. We couldn't pick any days before or any days after. It was a serious, serious pain. So here's what we're recommending. If you want to come in early or stay a little bit late, get a hold of us. Contact us at our phone number, which is 801-701-7337. Send us an email at customerservice@myrenatus.com, or just, I don't know, I guess you could send something through the mail, which sounds weird, but I wouldn't do that.
I wouldn't do that.
That would take way too long.
That would be dumb.
Anyway, get a hold of us. We'll get you in contact with Carol Allegre. She's our travel consultant on this deal, and she'll be able to get you taken care of. So it's going to be interesting. It's going to be a really good time once we get down there, but the prep for it has been very interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. But it'll be really fun and crazy and exotic and cool.
You cannot beat hanging out with an amped up group of Renatus people, though.
It's true.
I got to tell you. So our video team has started working on a promotional video for the Nationals, and it's kind of a recap of this last Nationals, kind of a advertisement for the next one kind of deal. Mm-hmm. It is awesome. Seeing the energy of everybody walking into the room.
Oh, yeah.
Dancing and cheering. And
that was fun.
So much fun.
It's cool.
So,
it's going to be a good time.
Yeah. When we get down to the Leaders Retreat, we're going to do that only in Costa Rica.
Yes, in Costa Rica.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. Make sure it's not called Liberia anymore. However, if you look up the Liberia Costa Rica airport, you'll get to the right place. That's the one you want to fly into.
Oh, it's not Liberia anymore? What does
No,
that
they
mean?
changed the name of the airport to...
to a different name.
Yeah, I can't remember what it is.
Yeah, but make sure it's the Liberia airport and not Liberia, because they're two different places.
Yeah, if you go to Liberia, that's
that would be
in...
bad. Africa, I think.
I don't even remember.
I'm going to look it up.
You should look it up. And while you look that up, I am actually going to respond. So we've got Bruce Holt, who he put this in here. I'm going to read this. This is a shameless plug. I just wanted to say thank you for all those at corporate. You are all so great to work with, all smiles and always helpful. Thanks for letting me hang out this morning. So this morning...
Who said that?
Bruce Holt.
Oh, he was...
Yeah, the gentleman who was helping with the chairs and everything, the good-looking guy.
Yeah, it's fun hanging out with you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Should do it more.
You should come by more often.
Come to the stuff that we have, anything. We do corporate. Right. We do corporate study groups. I'm sure there'll be more stuff here. So
we don't do corporate study groups here.
Well, that's online, but if Bruce shows up, I'll let him in. Liberia is in West Africa.
West Africa, there you go.
Yeah.
Matt's getting caught up on his African geography because he's going to be there in a couple of weeks.
Going to Kenya. Yeah.
So this morning we had an opportunity, a little sneak peek, a preview of Garrett Gunderson. He came in and did his one-man show for us, his keynote, and it was phenomenal. It was so good.
I'm glad that you touched on that because I wanted to kind of give him a plug, even though he didn't ask for it or say anything about it, and I gained no monetary value from it, but right. I thoroughly enjoyed it. It was really good content. It was something that kind of speaks to you like on a deep soul kind of level, a human kind of level. It was really, really good stuff, and great lessons to come from it, and just
it was actually he started off by reintroducing himself.
Yeah,
he wanted to create a frame for the conversation, and so he reintroduced himself.
Yeah,
and then at the very end, I just love when he wrapped it all up and just said, "Yeah, I'm a coal miner's son."
Yeah,
you know, and just it was so good, and the content was. I'm not going to give you any sneak peek, but it just spoke to my soul, and it resonates with the mission of Renatus.
It does.
About empowering us and about each one of us taking accountability for the opportunities that are in front of us. And Bruce came up and was part of our studio audience. This is not something we recorded. This is not something that we broadcasted. It was just something that was done live one time.
Yeah.
And it was awesome.
Yep.
Really good.
It was. But he's going to do it in other places.
Oh, yeah.
I don't even know how you find out about that, but...
No, right now I think he's still in the
working it out?
Refining and then creating a tour for it.
Well, if I get some details on it, I'll bring it back to the podcast because I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
And I want to go. I would love to go again and see it.
Yeah.
So,
it was that good.
Yeah.
In fact, I contemplated to myself, should I bring my device down so I can take notes? And then I thought, no, this is going to be a comedy thing. I like to enjoy comedy. I don't like to analyze it like that. And then as soon as he started, I was like,
crap, I should have brought my notepad.
No.
Yeah.
But then I didn't even want to take the 2 minutes that would take me to walk upstairs and come back down.
Yeah.
I didn't even want to be out of the room for that long.
Yep. That was it.
Bruce dropped in another comment here. Said it was incredible, so well done. Hit the feels for me. So lucky to be there. That's awesome. I'm glad that you were here. I'm glad that you enjoyed it the same way that we did. Yeah. We had a very short debrief afterward, just kind of talking about everything, and it was one of those things where you're like, this just resonates with Renatus.
Yeah, it does.
It's not a surprise that Garrett fits with Renatus and Renatus fits with Garrett.
Yeah.
So cool.
Yep. I can't wait to see it again. So.
Yeah, it's going to be good. But we don't have any other questions that have come through the line. Bruce is our only commenter today.
Well, you get what you get.
You get what you get. Well, I tell you what, we will be back then again next week at the same time, hopefully on time, and hopefully with the guest. Our guest has unfortunately not worked out for a couple weeks in a row here, but we'll get somebody here next week.
Yeah.
And happy Memorial Day to everybody out there.
Yeah, no kidding. Enjoy the weekend.
Yep. Renatus rocks.
We love you. Yeah. Right on, man. That was a good one.